questions. I'm a big fan of, it's just important, and this is where the wrong answer journal comes in. It's just as important to know why answer choices are wrong as the right answer, why the right answer is correct. And the reason that is it's a time thing. So a lot of you are a little bit faster paced than some others. And so what that means is not only are you trying, what you're trying to learn from boot camp is not just how to answer all these questions, but it's also strategy so you can get faster. I would assume that's all of your goals. And so that comes from getting slower. And so for here, whenever you're doing these, the quicker you can realize like why something doesn't have to be true and you can cross it off, that's how you're going to gain a lot of speed on the LSAT. But sometimes you have to slow down to be able to do that. Okay. So we had a couple of different answer choices here. We had a lot of people saying B and we had people saying D. So can someone go ahead and explain the stimulus to me in their own words? Tyler, go for it.
All right. So basically, like employers didn't know that the trend of like students graduating would drop by a certain percentage. And so, but it also meets the current demand, which is something that I took into account. And then the same survey revealed that mathematics and engineering, or like the number of undergraduates choosing those subjects, has also dropped. And then the author says that the trend is likely to continue.
Excellent. The other thing at the beginning was it found that the it's never been better at this part, right? So there's already a ton of jobs. It's never been better and it's likely to continue. But then we found like, hey, most people didn't know that it was going to drop by 25%. And a lot of them didn't know that there were a number of undergrads choosing to study subjects that are in high demand. Like there's less people doing it. And this trend is also going to continue. So did anybody, when you read this, kind of make a prediction of what this question could be? So this one says can properly be concluded. So it's going to ask us like what must be true based on this. Did anybody kind of make a prediction of like, ooh, this probably is going to be true then?
I didn't. I actually had a hard time with this because I understood the idea of like the trends that they were giving us, that fewer graduating, but I didn't understand why they would say job prospects for college graduates have never been better if that was the case. So I looked for something that would make it make sense, because it didn't. I was like, okay, so why are you saying that that's a good thing?
It's not saying that it's been a good thing. It's saying that it has recently found that job prospects for college graduates has never been better. So I guess it's a good thing for the college graduates, right?
Right.
But not necessarily as a whole. Like it might not be great for employers, right? Because they're like in high demand. Like they have to those students are probably negotiating for high salaries because there's, everybody wants them. And so what it properly is concluded is we're not adding to this. We're not saying something that's going to make this true. That's not the goal here. Our goal is, because this all is true, this also has to be true. Does that make sense, Nadia?
Yes. Okay.
So if we go through these, so A says soon. So already I'm like, do we know that something soon is going to happen? I don't know, but I'm paying attention to that detail. More graduates are likely to be competing for fewer jobs.
I don't think anything indicated that.
Well, the trend is likely to continue, but we don't know that there's going to be more graduates competing, right? So I was like, I don't think that has to be true.
Yeah.
Let's go to E. Employers who are well informed about future trends have anticipated and planned for them. Why is this one wrong, Adriana?
Because the stimulus says most employers were not aware.
Yeah, and do we know anything about the employers who are well informed? Do we know anything about them? Like, could be Farmer Bob out there that's well informed and he's like anticipated this, but we don't know that, right? We have no idea. All right, why is D wrong, Corey?
I thought D was right.
Okay, so why I want you to, okay, so we'll go to, how about we have Malika do C and we're gonna come back to you for D. Malika, what are your thoughts on C?
Well, this is kind of bringing in like a new idea of what employers are or are not aware of. We know that they aren't aware of it, so we can't assume that they're suddenly going to become aware.
Yeah, like So whenever it starts talking about the choosing the subjects, where it's like, hey, the same study here, we don't know if they, like you said, we don't know that they are or are not aware. We don't get to assume that. I think some of us, because these employers are not aware of these right here, it says most employers were not aware of this, what we're referring up here. Sometimes we want to like be like, oh, it's probably true for this part of the survey too. But we don't know that. Excellent. All right, Corey. So what do you think about D?
Okay, is it because we don't know that there's going to be fewer available jobs?
Well, okay. I think this trend is that there's going to be, actually, this is the opposite. Yeah, do we know that there's going to, yeah, you're right. We don't know that there's going to be fewer available jobs, right?
Right.
Yeah, you're spot on. I was misreading it. Thank you. We know there's going to be fewer graduates, but we don't know that the job numbers are going to change. And then who hasn't? Nadia, what do you like about B?
Well, with B, because I was torn between B and D. So knowing that we're being like nitpicky about the words, fewer available jobs, it never said anything about that. With B, there's nothing actually objectionable that in the passage. Like there's nothing that you can pick and be like, okay, it goes against that. It actually like if we look at the idea of like it's job prospects for college students has never been better, I'm kind of stuck on that phrase. It makes B seem like a stronger candidate.
Yeah, because we're saying there's never been more jobs available. However, there's fewer people graduating. There's fewer people studying mathematics and engineer that are in high demand. So we're saying there's likely to be a shortage of graduates to fill certain vacancies. I think that it follows completely from it, right? It's like, hey, this is like building, and we're building to this, and we can get to this conclusion pretty easily by staying between the lines. Excellent. All right, we're gonna.
Nicole,
Yes.
sorry for that one. Like, could you say, like, I looked at the wording there is likely. Is that mild wording compared?
Yes,
Like,
excellent.
kind of what I said too, or
Yes,
what I thought.
difference. No, because it gives the answer some like wiggle room, right? Where what if it said there is to be a shortage? We don't know that there for sure is going to be a shortage, but the fact that it's likely, that means more than 51%, right? If you had to bet money on this, that is there going to be a shortage of graduates or a surplus of graduates? Which one would you be on? Excellent. All right, so go ahead and try both of these and put your answers in the chat. And if you could put your answer with the number, that would be great.